We have our second square between Saturn in Pisces at 14 degrees and Jupiter retrograde in Gemini at 14 degrees, exact on December 24th. They had their first square back in August 19th at 17 degrees. Now they meet up again, and these are planets that are associated with our bigger life picture. Saturn is the reality of what you're living, your responsibilities, commitments, choices, what you need to take care of, what's in front of you. Also, your goals, what you're moving towards, what you want to obtain and experience. Jupiter is the energy of growth, learning, expansion. Jupiter wants us to feel confidence and inspiration for what we're moving through in life. A sense of, I can do this, this will be worth it. Jupiter is about how we grow through our experiences, and Saturn is about the reality checks of what we're really doing and learning. So with these two planets in a square is tension, and when there's a square, typically one planet will dominate the other. In this case, they both hold their own, but in different ways. And you could have a sense that you have been sitting in something that has been mentally or spiritually stressful. Saturn in Pisces brings up the bigger energies that we're completing. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's what you need to let go of, where you need to end something. It's something that you haven't finished, you haven't completed as well. And Saturn is bringing your attention to what you need to take care of with purpose and responsibility. Saturn in Pisces also brings up our spiritual lessons, our karmic patterns, and what we've learned along the way that now we're understanding, okay, I lived through that cycle, I lived through that experience, this is what I've learned, and now I'm completing it so that the endings can occur in that area of my life. Saturn in Pisces brings our attention to what we're meant to close out in order to move forward, and that will start when Saturn moves into Aries in May 2025. But this square to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, brings your attention to the mind, ideas, thoughts, assumptions, expectations. Jupiter is actually in its detriment in Gemini, which means we overthink or we grasp onto a bigger picture before getting the details, the particulars, or more of the clear facts. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is bringing your attention to what do you need to still collect information about? Where do you need to ask clarifying questions? What are you trying to figure out and perhaps realizing I didn't have all the information? I didn't see or read everything clearly. I missed the terms and conditions at the end of the contract. So Jupiter retrograde is catching up with the information you didn't have previously. So this means with this square, we are relearning and understanding what we didn't know previously that has halted our growth in some capacity. It's created a challenge. Perhaps this could be where you made assumptions and you realize you didn't have the full story. A bigger picture overview here is that Jupiter is in Gemini, an air sign. Saturn is in Pisces, a water sign. And you could be feeling that the standoff or the wrestling match is between your mind and your intuition, between what you thought, what you planned, what you've been thinking, what you want to communicate. And then the Saturn in Pisces is holding the energy of your intuition, your soul's guidance, your feelings, and what you're meant to move through as part of a soul lesson, part of your spiritual growth. So in this particular square, occurring here at the end of December, Saturn is actually stronger because Saturn is direct, Jupiter's retrograde. Saturn is bringing your attention to what you are needing to intuitively trust, even when your mind is racing in with questions or looking for the logic or the rationale. That part of yourself is meant to be toned down so that you can hear the quieter messages of your soul, so that you can really grasp what your intuition is guiding you towards in order to complete a lesson or perhaps to elevate in some way that you've been afraid to trust. And so as we continue on our ascension path here, you're meant to really stop and listen to the parts of yourself that maybe you don't always come in contact with or you don't want to hear. It could be hard to trust because trusting involves blind faith at times, and to go with something before there's evidence, before you see it. So this is a good checking in point between your relationship to your intuition and your relationship to your mind. And as if that wasn't enough, we also have with this second square a returning Mercury in Sagittarius, bringing in the bigger understandings, the hopes, the inspirations. That Mercury in Sagittarius has experienced a retrograde of reviewing your assumptions, reviewing your expectations, and now enters into the dialogue here as Mercury in Sagittarius gets to 14 degrees of Sag, December 26th, and is meant to offer a new understanding of what you've been learning. But because this is called a T-square with 3 planets, all immutable signs, you could feel that there's even more coming up that brings in a distraction, a restlessness, scattered energy. And it's already something that's been in play. So it's not new, it's not brand new, but there is something that you could feel like it's so unresolved. And what to do, how to think it through, how to understand it. And so the answer is in going higher. Going higher to what that Saturn in Pisces is directing you towards. So for some people, this could be about making a hard choice and it doesn't feel good. Making a difficult choice and not feeling ready yet. Perhaps there's a lot going on in your mind, things you've got to figure out by the end of the year, or things that you're thinking about for the new year. I mean, it's good to take this energy and apply it to what we're truly moving through right now, this time of year. There's just a sense of a lot is up, a lot is maybe even not focused yet. There's not clarity. And I feel too that when we have this type of T-square between 3 different parts of your chart, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces, try and think of 3 different archetypes for each of those energies. And think of them in that conversation, a 3-way conversation here, of what each needs, of what each wants. So if you're ending out 2024 with a lot on your mind, a lot you're figuring out, trying to plan, trying to sort it out, trying to make decisions, and it's hard to do, that's in the cosmos right now. That's not just you. There's a purpose to it. There's a purpose to it. It's not meant to be a fast decision or choice. It's meant to be diligent. It's meant to be exploratory. Honor the exploration. Honor the various messages you're receiving. It's not going to last forever. And I feel the energy is really going to shift as Saturn and Jupiter start to move away from each other. And there isn't that tightness of the square. And Mercury moves through the shadow territory January 3rd and then enters Capricorn. So know that it's going to be clear probably towards that middle of January time period. If you can hold off, if it's not a rushed choice or decision or anything you have to take on. But if you're sitting in something, there's a beautiful reason why. And with this Saturn in Pisces dominating the conversation, your soul is holding that answer and that clarity. So this is our assignment right now, is to be in the lack of clarity or the indecision, to see what comes up, because whatever is coming up for you could be revealing a pattern, an unconscious part of yourself, could be revealing a fear, could be revealing something that you wouldn't see if you were racing by or if you made a quick choice. The mental fatigue might be very real right now. So take care of yourself. If that's coming up for you, see if you can put something on the back burner, but know that there's a purpose to this energy being intense and this energy being uncomfortable. And it's to help you grow and to help you see what has been potentially that unconscious pattern that's been holding you back. So I hope that offers some kind of insight to work with, however this is coming up for you, and to know that it's in the cosmos, it's not personal, and it's going to lead to a very beautiful next step, especially as we move into the new year.